Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the new Rare Beauty Discovery Eyeshadow Palette in Give Yourself Grace. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay, so again, this is the new Rare Beauty Discovery Palette in Give Yourself Grace. This retails for $29 US or 38 Canadian. This is available now at Sephora and their website. This is made in the US with global components and has a 12-month shelf life. So it just comes in their standard white packaging, and then we have their beautiful outer packaging. So she has released two of these in this size before, and she currently has a smaller size in a bundle with, I believe, an eyeliner or a mascara currently at Sephora right now. I have not tried any of her eyeshadows in this format. I have tried one of her Magnetic Spirit eyeshadow palettes, but that is it. And I've heard some mixed reviews about these, but I just thought this was super pretty and I wanted to try it for myself. So first off, the packaging, very, very pretty. It's just this nude packaging, and it actually has a bit of a lip here. So this is going to be super beautiful on a vanity, and it is just a plastic component, but opening this up, you do get a mirror here. This is what it looks like. So it just kind of looks like the moon phases. Very, very beautiful. You get a matte, two shimmers on this side, a pressed glitter, then you get two mattes and a more metallic shade down here. Very, very pretty. One thing I've heard a lot of criticisms about is how she always puts a giant pressed glitter right in the middle. That's the shade you're probably going to use the least. So I agree that I don't fully understand why that's the one in the middle. I would definitely think it would be one of the mattes that you're probably going to reach for the most. Could be in the middle, or maybe even a light pink, so it could be like a dual purpose. That's just my opinion, but let's get to putting this on the eyes. Okay, so I did just prime my eyes really quickly, and I think I'm going to start with this light pink shade here. I think this is called Happy. They do have a legend on the back, but when they do it this way, it always messes with my brain. So I believe this one is called Happy, and I'm just going to take that right in the crease. And it's actually a lot more pigmented than I expected it to be. It seems to be blending quite nicely though. I just used my Urban Decay Primer Potion to prime and set it with my Charlotte Tilbury powder. Okay, I think I'm just going to take this peachier shade down here, which is called Joy, and I'm just going to use that to deepen the crease. I'm doing a very, very typical Christy kind of look, but I'm also just trying to use a lot of the shades. I do think the shades in this palette are looking really, really pretty. And for the sake of testing out everything in this palette, I am of course going to be using that pressed glitter. These mattes are blending beautifully together. I will say these are really great quality mattes. I'm just going to take this shade here, Love, and I'm just going to use that one to deepen that outer corner. That's a pretty shade too. That's a really pretty shade. I think I'm going to just grab my crease brush quickly and blend that out. I am so pleased with how everything is blending so far. I'm going to go into the shade Faith, which is the first shimmer shade we are testing out. I might end up regretting it. I'm taking it on a brush, which is out of character for me. And I'm not really concerned if I get a lot of payoff because we are going in with that glitter. I'm just going with back to my trusty method of using my fingers, grabbing my crease brush again just to blend out those edges. I don't really like that purple shade the most, but that's okay. We're gonna go in with that glitter shade now. This one is called Splendor. Taking it on a finger, and to protect the makeup, I'm just gonna take a little puff here so that I don't get fallout. I do not own glitter glue, so, oh, this is pretty though. Okay. Quite pretty. I brought that out further than I meant to. Okay, I'm feeling like I wrecked the look. Let's be honest, I don't like that glitter. But I'm going to take the shade Hope, which is just a really beautiful baby pink, and I'm going to tuck this one on the inner corner. That's beautiful. I kind of wish that I had gone with that one all over the lid, which is funny because that's what I wanted to do. And then I shifted to the purple. Okay, I feel like that ties the glitter in better. Here's the frustrating thing with the glitter is that even though I had the little puff under here, which I do think minimized some of the fallout. I still got glitter all over my face, and I feel like I need to redo some of my makeup, which doesn't make me the happiest. So let me pop off camera. I'll pop on some mascara and I'll be right back with my final thoughts. I feel like this look went downhill so quickly. So this is the final look. Once I added the glitter, hated it. Nobody is using this much of a pressed glitter. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I will use this glitter again. I found that the glitter itself, it's a really pretty shade and it is super, super messy. I do like that it's got kind of like a silver, pinky, purple fleck to it. I think that's really, really pretty, and I think on the right person this glitter might look really nice. I personally do not like it, and I find it really, really messy. I think if you are going to use this, definitely go in with a glitter glue, because I got fallout all over my face. It did brush away fairly easily, but I feel like it's just going to keep coming. So that makes me not happy. I do not like when my eyeshadow ruins my makeup. So I do think the outer packaging is beautiful. I think $29 is more than fair for a high-end eyeshadow palette. I think the mattes in here work really, really well. I think aesthetically this palette is very pretty. I did not think I would enjoy the awkward pan shapes. I don't actually mind. The mattes blended very well. They worked so well together. They're very smooth. They look great. If you're somebody who really likes your shimmer shades and your eyeshadows to really pack a punch, I think you might be disappointed with these more metallic-y shades in here. But if you do prefer a softer look, I think you would really enjoy this formula. If you are not going to use the glitter, I would probably pass on this palette. It is very large. I do think that middle shade should have been like maybe this soft pink, or even this little peach over here that we're going to use for a transition. Therefore, it's the shade we're going to use the most and get the most use out of. That way you get more product of the most used shade. I think it would have made a really good sense to put that in the middle instead of this giant pressed glitter. I just don't love the glitter. I just felt like it was so messy. I would recommend a glitter glue with this one. I don't have a glitter glue, so I didn't use that. I was able to brush a lot of it away, which made me happy, but it was really messy, even though I was using a puff to kind of try and block some of that fallout from falling all over my makeup. So I would recommend glitter glue. I would also recommend doing your eyes first. And then I did want to show you really quickly, I have one of her Confident Energy palettes. This is the one in Magnetic Spirit. And I think these two will play really well together. This formula was like her first eyeshadow formula that she released, and I think it's pretty. I just don't love that it's kind of an all shimmer palette. So I think it'll actually play really well with this new one. I think having this one will help me get a little bit more use out of this one. I just really don't like using shimmers and things like that in the crease, so I really do think that having the two of them will really help me get use out of both. But I wanted to show you a palette in my collection that I think may have been sort of the inspiration for this color story, and that is the Pat McGrath Rose Decadence palette. So they're not identical, but you can see how one might be borrowing inspiration from the other. So the soft pink shades, very, very similar. I think the purple in the Pat McGrath is what the Rare Beauty was going for. So this is the Pat McGrath, this is the Rare Beauty. You can see with the Pat McGrath, it's got like a fuchsia to gold shift, whereas the Rare Beauty, I felt like on the eyes it had what seemed to be a bit of a copper trying to poke through that shade, and it just wasn't fully working. But I think that's what she was trying to accomplish. And then if you look at the two light pinks side by side, I have the Rare Beauty and the Pat McGrath. The Pat McGrath definitely just has more impact in general, but these are quite similar. And then the Champagne Gold shades aren't identical, but I think they're sort of going for a sort of similar vibe. So I think if you already have the Pat McGrath palette, I would definitely pass on the Rare Beauty, just because this one is definitely better quality and will definitely get you so much more impact. However, like I mentioned, if you're going to use that glitter, you might love this. And if you like a softer color story initially, I think you'll like this. But I think if you're either not going to use the glitter, I would definitely pass. Or if you're just used to a more Pat McGrath type payoff from your shimmers, I would pass on this one. They're just not the most impactful. overall, I think this is a good quality palette. I think $29 is completely fair for a high-end eyeshadow palette. I really love Rare Beauty, so I think this is fine. I don't think it's revolutionary. There's definitely a lot of palettes in my collection I like so much more, but it's not bad. I think this will appeal to people who, again, who prefer softer eye looks, a softer blend, or maybe who just really like glitter and Rare Beauty. That is it for me today. Let me know down below if you picked this one up. I am really working toward being able to do a full face of Rare Beauty. Let me know if you'd like to see that as well. But that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!